At Strayer University, we help students like you go from will I to why not.
When you first left me, I was wanting more, but you were fucking that girl next door. What'd you do that for? When you first left me, I didn't know what to say. I never been on my own that way. Just sat by myself all day. I was so lost back then, but with a little help from my friends,
Hello, it's me,
I turned
Poison,
the tunnel at the end.
and we are gonna get started here. Me close up,
Pulling me up on
make sure that everything is going good. I'm gonna pause this music so we can talk about what we're gonna do today. So today we are heading to the salon, also known as Unity, because that's where we do all of our fancy programming and we render our mats. And so I rushed through. The first time I was doing the like pop idol outfit because in my mind I'm like, oh, this will be like kind of a one-off. I'll use it maybe a few times. But now that like I'm gonna do music more frequently, I kind of want to have the pop one be a more staple. But that also means I need to optimize it. So right now, the current iteration of the pop outfit and stuff is not optimized. As in, like, sometimes it causes like a little bit of lag and doesn't like do the things I want it to. So we're gonna optimize it. We're gonna remove the particle effect from the model, and we're gonna attach that particle effect to an object that we then attach to the model in Wordo. Believe it or not, the reason why that optimizes the model better is that uh, it's like reading two small files is easier than reading one really large file for Wordo. Um, and so much is attached to the model file already that every time it wants to get some information from that file, it has to search the file to get that information and then uses RAM to remember where those paths are. So if I can make that easier and a shorter path, it's not going to have as many issues. Also because the particle effects have animations that play on loop, it makes it a lot better just to have that as a separate object. That's why in the past, it's never caused issues when I've had like the sparkles that are currently on my head or like the sparkles that I use on my hands have never caused issues. It's because that's how I had it programmed and that's how I had it operating. So today we are going to be working on the new model. Well, not new model. We're working on the old model, but in a new way. So we're going to give it basically, this model has kind of like the messy mad scientist vibes, as you can see from like the way the hair's animated. It kind of goes a little wild. That is on purpose because that's also for the like eyes that I have here. We have a little bit more of a crazy eye. It's supposed to kind of be like a mad science-y vibe. Because like VTuber persona bullshit and all that stuff. Because of that. I did it for the plot. Um, but my pop person, like I want that to be more like still have a little bit of chaos to it, but have it more uniform chaos. So like it it reads differently than this one. The bell sleeves on it, this one uses muted, like earthy tones. I want to have that one shift between a little bit more bright, maybe more on the neon side. I'm also thinking instead of like a knit for the sweater and top, we're gonna switch that out for like maybe something a little bit more pleather like. Um, so those are the changes that we're going to be making. I'm also going to have it default shine brighter than this model. Like this model is pretty dark and doesn't receive light as like even in a well-lit environment, they're designed to kind of have that like air of mystery on them. So that also means that, well, for one, they're a pain in the app to like actually like light correctly. But two, it lets me keep that kind of like darker vibe no matter where I put this model. And which is difficult because if you can see here, the hair for this model is the same as the other one, but it's so bright. But yeah, this model, we're gonna be making this hair look nice. I already pre-boned the model because that part takes forever, and rigging those animations can take a good amount of time. So now we get to do the fun part of like the weighting the map and everything. I'm gonna load this so you guys can see how everything moves on this model currently, because it's gonna change. And it's not gonna change because I'm gonna change the boning. It's gonna change because these mats are not the thickness and visibility that they're gonna be when I'm finished. Uh, Prima. We want to hide the colliders. I'm gonna take the easy capture tool real fast, and we're gonna make it just a little bit bigger. That's gonna cut off the very edges, but you guys don't need to see the very edges or the bottom of my screen. Okay, so this is how it looks right now. And if you see like there's some like singular hairs that are pretty wild on the top part, we're gonna want to change that. You can also see a preview of it in the bottom right hand corner. That's why I've moved my model for this stream. But yeah, those hairs are going to be a lot thinner, so it's going to look nicer. And then we used a non-sequential loop on the bottom of the skirt for this time. Before we just used panels, but this time the dress is going to move more like a dress. Or the music notes are going to move more like a dress than they are going to be like before they kind of like bent in awkward patterns. But because I decided I like this so much and the way that I did this so much that I wanted to like, yeah. So the music note part's probably not going to change that much. The main parts that are going to change are going to be the hair and face. Because we're going to be doing a normal map of those hair and face. And what I did for the previous normal map is I pretty much just took the texture of the face because my face already follows like some generalized weights to them. Because I did accidentally follow the planes of the face when I shaded it. So like I was able just to transition it to basically read correctly. But we can do it better by actually painting the weight map ourselves. It's a normal map, but I like to call it a weight map because that makes more sense to me because it's weighing different parts of it differently. I could also refer to it as a topographical map, but yeah, it's a map that tells the computer how to make this object look 3D. So like in a light environment. So yeah, I think we're gonna do that part first, the face, because, and then we're gonna do the hair. That's why the going live notification for this one was going to the salon. And hello, Silver Sun, is because we got a big hair day today. We separated the mats on the hair so that way I can apply different renderings to each individual strand if I choose to. We're not going to do each individual strand, but there's certain parts of the hair that need their own, like, mat. And yes, hair day. Well, we're getting a facial and then a hair. A hair, not to be confused with multiple hairs. Okay, So this first part's gonna look very horrifying, uh, because you get to see my skin flayed. We don't need this. Ooh, actually, there's one thing I need from this, and it's this color palette. This color palette is set to be a weight map, basically. Because you have to do it in a specific color. Um, ooh. That actually might be a good idea. No, but we're gonna do it from scratch and see how it works. Now I need to go to this, go to my desktop, and I want to grab this. So the reason I'm grabbing this is this face already has a natural topography to it that I need to stay aware of when I'm doing the below part. Otherwise, it's gonna look weird real fast. Let's see. Control C, Control V. I'm gonna take a second copy of this, put it up here, and hide it. And then I want to do a new layer down here. New correction layer. We want gradient. See, I wish that I had one that's instead of like thermography, that I had a like one that was for weight. I feel like they're missing that. Okay, hollow. So I might just need to make it myself. So for something that receives shadow, you would think that we would use blue, as in I thought that I would use blue for shadow, but no, shadow is red and light is blue. So we want to take this black part and make it red, a very, very bright red. And then we want to take this part and we want to make it a blue. Let's see. We cancel that, because I can use this map to help me out. Now, if only I could like just grab that color map and just put it on this one, but that would probably not save me too much time, honestly. New correction layer gradient. Same. I can actually, okay, so one of the cool things about Vroid Studio is all of my models that were made using Vroid can be exported for like D&D mini style, like 3D printing. I actually technically have the mesh that you would need to 3D print any of my models, which is really cool. Of course, the person of me that I used to play Warhammer because I dated someone who played Warhammer. I played Necrons and I painted them rainbow. But I honestly almost stayed playing Warhammer, but more just wanted to paint the minis than anything. Because painting the minis is fun. Okay. One of my first ever like major hobbies was cosplay. And so like I've always been someone who really enjoys like even though I didn't start doing art until like about a year ago now, I've always enjoyed artistic crafts. But okay, so now that I have this, see, I don't know if this is organized right. pretty sure this should be like a red. Because that's how the maps have looked like in the past. Need normal map guide. Okay. This actually might not even work as a normal map now that I'm thinking about it, because it doesn't follow the same principles that I need. Yeah, let's just do it from scratch. Because I think that's, at the end of the day, I can try a bunch of shortcuts and end up doing something that's not going to work out for me. Or I could do it from scratch and know that the thing that I make is going to work for me. So I never painted anything 3D. All of my stuff was store-bought. So I never printed out the Warhammer crafts myself. I bought the boxes of like Necrons and stuff. One of the reasons why it was suggested I played Necrons was the fact that they're the cheapest army to start with and make viable. Um, I don't know if that's still true, but it was whenever I was playing. Like you didn't need like for the demons and like a lot of like the space marines, there's like really expensive parts that you need to make the army work. But Necrons use like some cheap mechanics and Zerg rushing strategies. So like Zerg like as in StarCraft, where you have a bunch of cheap units that you build fast and attack your opponent. Yeah, I'm a major nerd. I'm not just a minor nerd. I majored in being a nerd. See, you know, another thing I need to stop thinking of this as, I need to stop thinking of it as like, because it is a new thing for me to be working on a weight map. I need to not think of it as this part gets red, but instead that I'm painting a cube. This part gets red. This part gets blue. This part gets yellow. And a little bit of green. Oh, whoops. I did that. It goes green and then yellow. And then the center part, it's like they're washed out. Like purpley. Like that color. Same. Yeah, no, it was also just fun because like because they're skeleton warriors, I get to choose like for a lot of the people, it wouldn't make sense for me to paint like where their skin, like all of these colorful textures. But for Necron, it doesn't matter. They don't have skin. So my Necron army, lore-esque wise, was gay. It's not they painted their bones rainbow. They're not naturally rainbow. They were just gay and wanted to like have pride in that. There is pre-existing lore. I say I like making my own lore. It's one of the reasons why I make a good DM, but I'm also a bad DM because I don't know what the actual lore is because I got so used to making my own. Okay. I think what I should do first is experiment with the nose to make sure I get it right. Also because the nose is the easiest three-dimensional shape I have here. Now, it is possible to do a simple form of this where I just use shades of like blue and like blue to white-ish, but we're not doing that. So the nose comes out of the face. So what I want to do is grab, gosh, I'm talking more because I'm having to talk myself through this process. I have this issue a little bit where I talk with a lot of confidence. So when I speak, people think I know what I'm talking about, even when I have no clue what I'm talking about. It's not because I'm overly confident, it's just because I public speak well. Same. Yeah, like I I mean honestly, you don't need 15 minutes before Warhammer. You get like 30 minutes while people are setting up. And then people's turns sometimes take 5 years. So like you have time to explain why you're attacking. I'm also a big fan of Wars of Attrition, and Necrons are really good at that. I might grab a, the other color palette, which is a lot simpler, because I think I bit off more than I can chew with that color palette, because that implies a higher understanding of what those values mean that I am not exactly privy to. And I'll get more colors by mixing them anyways. But this is going to be a little bit helpful to start with doing this. Starting with the complex for my first one, probably not the best idea. I think I'm not the only person to paint Necron's rainbow either. Let's see. I went this like washed out purple here. Oh, I can bring back the music too. Um, do 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 do. I was slightly delayed because I had to watch some YouTube videos so I could figure out what was what. And I still need my reference up here. And this is why, before I even started, I made a second copy of this, because I just realized I'm drawing on the same layer as the face. uh, but that's fine, because we made a backup layer, so we're good. You know, I've heard the same. I've actually, you're not the first person to tell me that, but I have oftentimes after I get done speaking, I'm like, I sounded way too confident. I don't like being bold and wrong. And I'm someone who's very willing to admit when they're wrong. But sometimes someone won't correct me because I sound so confident when speaking that they assume that they're the ones who are wrong. Arguing with me is a nightmare. Because on one hand, I'm trying to find middle ground between us. On the other hand, it sounds like I'm just being overtly, like, domineering. I'm gonna blend these out and make sure that these actually work for me. That kind of looks like my reference stuff. See, this was supposed to be done on its own layer, but it's fine. If nothing else, I'm gonna have a really pretty colored face here, like with pinks and blues, because I do like this color palette. I don't like how that looks. Let's see. Oh, whoops. I did the exact thing I didn't want to. But you know what? This is why we save a backup. I am smart for that. Okay, now this one. Save as. That's spelled incorrectly, but it doesn't matter. What do you... Oh, okay. I was like, confused with that. Okay. Uh, okay. Bard is definitely gonna be better at suggesting one, but the one that I really wanted to do, and Bard might know the name of it, but it's the one that's led by, I think, Toth, or at least a Toth-like figure. Toth is the god of knowledge, keeper of the great library, if I remember correctly. Egyptian god, like has like a bird-like humanoid figure. I really wanted to try that one, but I was told that would be expensive. A very expensive one for my first army. I have a feeling a lot of gay people vibe probably with the demons. And it's not because evil, it's because society. Uh, oh, that's why. I was like, what happened to my face? Let's see. Oh, I think this is saved as... No, it's saved as a PNG, so it should be in there. There it is. Okay. So I'm gonna go to materials. Technically, I guess I could use uh the mesh, because the mesh is done as a weight map. But that's all just purple, and it's a shade of purple, which I don't want. I want to do a more detail. Guitar, then shapes, materials. Then go to the face, and go over here. We have that for the normal map. We want to use ours as the normal map. Fix. And what I'm looking at right now is how this looks right here when I like as I move the camera. Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. And hit Control Z. Ooh, that would be something that might be a good test also. Okay. And thanks for the love, novella. And yeah, to blah 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 blah. Nietzsche, I do think is the one I'm referring to. And I think uh I want to Google that real fast. So I think I remember uh, there it is. It's Thoth. Uh yeah. I, that's a magic wand sparkle, so I thought it would be a cool thing for like when singing or talking to have like the glitter coming out. Also to hide whenever my like tracking's extra bad. Because sometimes that happens. Okay, so Tisneath has been compared in the fandom before, but it's not part of actual canon 40k. Okay, it's I you know when you're told like like a fan like info, but it seems just accurate enough to like go with it. It's one of those scenarios where I'm like, yeah. Okay, I think I understand it a bit better now. So let me just like, do you think I actually want to do? Because now I understand how this is actually separated. Oh, he's written in ancient Greece? I know he's an Egyptian figure. But that does remind me, Cleopatra, I think, was a quarter, almost half Greek. So, like, there was lots of intermingling there. Yeah, Cleopatra is not actually 100% Egyptian. She has Greek in her blood. Which makes it even funnier that she got Egypt, I think, back from the Romans, or the Romans helped her conquer Egypt back. I believe, or it's the Greeks who helped her. I don't remember if Greece was still a thing during the change of power in Egypt, because Rome eventually just knocks Greece off the map. Honestly, what I should start with after this is like just doing the planes of the face real fast. So I'm using this normal map in a way that it's not necessarily designed, as a side note. I just noticed it worked really well for this when I was working on a model. You can also use this to give something a more painterly vibe. Oh no, feel free to like keep on yapping. This is a process that I don't know exactly how long it will take me, but I do think I'm gonna need to make more bold decisions than what I am right now. Because I think if I stay with what I'm doing right now, it's gonna take me forever to do this face. So let me just go ahead and start getting a little bit bolder. This way I can also make sure what I'm doing is working.
And welcome back to this US Open office plan.
Miller just lobbed a message way over Jones's head using some technical jargon.
Ooh, and
Like
Jones
this,
thinks that he's
start
the
purple.
last email.
They need to start working together if they want to ace this project.
Let's see if they can use Grammarly to their advantage. Jones is using it to make her point in a friendly way.
And Miller is taking empathetic out for a spin.
And this could be the tiebreak, Bill.
Okay, and then
Something
back to
right there
this.
that makes you sound like the best version of yourself. And that's what we need to see here today.
It's also super private, Jill. It keeps your data in your court.
Oh, and now Miller's taking a technical doc and asking Grammarly to rewrite it. Just look at that. It's so much shorter and...
You know what? I kind of want to switch that Slay. Obviously, I want to call her Slaynisha as the new Chaos God. You know, I would totally play that and make my army full drag queens. Drag queen 40k army led by the winner of last season's Drag Race, Slaynisha. Drag Race is still a thing in the year 40k, and Slaynisha just won the runway. But let's face it, there was not even a challenge for Slaynisha. Same. You know, no, we are a gay community. We are femboy positive, drag positive, gender identity positive, queer eye positive. Like, we embrace all forms of queer culture. Well, all forms of good part. Like, there's some things that we can't embrace morally. Good, so good. Because this is gonna, I wanted to do this like more boldly, because this is gonna basically help me know if I'm doing this right. That was one of my main goals when forming my community, is I wanted to make sure that you're either part of the community or support the community. Otherwise, this is a very awkward like stream for you. Because I'm not about washing myself down for the comfort of others. Like, I'm still brand and ad friendly. I'm just not gonna like
In 2009, MTV brought you a first of its kind TV
change
show,
who I
16
am
and Pregnant. Now the moms have 16
just to make some people less uncomfy.
Not a chance. Thursdays.
The people you date,
So,
you've broken their heart.
what I'm doing here is a normal map,
Era of motherhood.
and it basically creates shapes
New season.
on the face.
Teen Mom the next chapter. All new Thursdays at 8.
It creates what it does is when I put this into Unity, it's going to make the render of the object more 3D, if that makes sense. Because it's telling light how to interact with it.
One of those cancers is early-stage non-small cell lung cancer.
I
Keytruda may be used with certain chemotherapies before surgery.
am looking for where that is. There we go. So I did this underneath eye part wrong, but we can fix it. If you put the colors on the outside, and you put red on the right bottom left, and dark blues and that stuff on the bottom, bottom right and bottom left, you make the object 3D popping out. If you reverse it and flip it, you make an object look like it's going in. Okay, let's save. Okay, we want this. Let's lock in. Sometimes I have to lock in something to make it actually update. I zoomed in. So you'll notice that as I change how this is mapped, the face when I zoom in is looking more and more realistic. And you can see how the curvature is a little bit more rounded. The goal of this, because this is going to be my pop-esque model, is to have it be like close-up friendly. That prophet is dead. But this is a great way to like add textures to things. Speaking of which, materials, let's go to face. And we're gonna go to shading, shader. If I switch this to realistic, you'll see that like you can see the shadows. See? Obviously, I did way better on this side than this side. But yes, you can see how it's telling the light how to be on the face. And you can see how it's changed the shape of my nose. And if we look down underneath my nose, you can now see that this bridge that was flat has a curve to it now. Honestly, it's a lot easier to get into than people think it is. I probably should turn that music down just a little bit. It's honestly, I mean, especially if you watch my stream, I may not be a lot of things, but I've always been told I'm a pretty good teacher. I don't make my videos with the purpose of teaching, but if I'm ever asked a question, I have no problem explaining either how I did something or my understanding of that thing. I was allowed to TA for a graduate level class. And if you don't know what that means, is basically I was a graduate student teaching other graduate students about a complex topic. Funnily enough, a complex topic of which I did not take the class for, completely unqualified, but once again, that speaking with confidence thing, it works on even the most educated of people. They're like, oh yeah, but you know your stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. But yeah, this, I should have used this to show from the beginning. I'm gonna use skin because I like skin. Okay. But realistic might be good for just so that way I can see how I'm actually like doing. That or warped. Or wrapped. But we'll use this one for now. One of the things that's also okay. So another thing I suggest is no, you're not distracting me. If I didn't want to talk while making a model, I would just do it offline. Same. No, it looks like I'm eating stream. Nom 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 nom. I do I used to have an emote for kissing the screen though. But yeah, like if I had a I'm trying to also get better at talking while working, so on all fronts it's helpful for me to like be live while working on stuff because I'm a streamer and I kind of need to learn how to do that better. But I did a really good job with that nose, so that makes me happy. And it does look like I was doing the right thing on the other sides too, so that's good. The thing that I'm also trying to kind of get from doing this, one of my favorite animations of last year, and this isn't like a niche thing, is Arcane. And I love Arcane's art style. And this allows me to break past... There's limitations I have when working with a Vtuber model. A lot of those are face shape based. But this lets me break past that without actually having to like go into Blender. Blender's amazing, a great thing. I'm not good at Blender. and I'm slowly teaching myself, but I'm not there yet. We'll get there eventually. But the outside of the face was pretty much where I needed it to be. That means I can zoom in here. But yeah, also, if you didn't know this, when you send chat messages in my stream, like on the Twitch side especially, because I'm monetized on the Twitch side. Okay, so whenever I start, if you want to do just the quick start, Vroid gives you a finished model when you export. It creates what's known as a VRM file. And then what I do is I take that VRM file and I plug it into Unity. And let me grab it real fast. I'm going to put a Porto Unity. Okay. I'm going to put a link in the chat. And this link is a one-stop shop for like the VRM to Unity side. And I use Wardo for using the model. But we start with Vroid. We put all of our objects together in Vroid. If you want to get fancy with your mats, I suggest doing some base shading using like Clip Studio or your preferred art program like Krita. And then after we get finished with the Vroid step, we export the model. And then when we export the model, we go over to Unity and we click on VRM0 and we click import and we import that VRM, which will give you a file like this that has the model and all the other like features of the model. I then drag that model up to the scene and I start working on it by clicking on materials and editing these. If you're wanting to edit, like if you messed up in Vroid and you need to like change one of your textures, I used to re-export. You don't have to do that. You can go to textures and just edit it from the texture section, which is what I'm doing right now with my weight map. But yeah, and if you wanted to do super fancy things with your mats, Poyomi is amazing. This is one of my favorite tools ever. And if you want to use Poyomi though, you're going to need to pick a specific stream software. I chose Wardo. Wardo is really cool, really nice, very self-program friendly. So that's why I use it. And it also has all of these cool bake tools that let you just put all of your things on one file. After exporting it, I then pull up Wardo and I'll put that character file in the Wardo character folder. And then I'll be able to use it. Now I do a lot of extra steps. If you want to just do like, just get started with your first one, my suggestion, just focus on using Vroid. Once you have an idea for how to use Vroid, then possibly add in Unity. And then once you have an idea of how you want to do that, it becomes your work process, and just keep on adding tools to Unity as you go. Wardo one of the other reasons to use Wardo for your like stream software is because it is so there's so much information on how to use it. That docs.wardo.app that I linked in the chat, it has guides on how to do like everything you could think about for like Wardo. As far as even having pre-packaged Unity tools to do basically what I'm doing, but doesn't have everything, but it has a lot. Let's see. I want to turn this model because I don't think they're like, yeah. We want partially in light, partially in shadow for the face. The lucky part is I can be very lazy on this part of the face, like the left side, because it's covered with hair. So it's almost always going to be in shadow. But we're going to want to take where that cheekbone is more than likely and try to round it out a little bit more. Yeah. This is pretty dark. I think I want to brighten it up just a little bit. You're welcome. And that should be enough to get you started. Oh, really important note about Vroid. You'll see that there's slider bars that have like 0 to 100 on them. You can actually enter your own value there. Oh, okay, yeah. And don't forget you can add your own values. My face is almost all custom values. And seeing how you've used Vroid before, I didn't want to overload you. But as you are not necessarily a super beginner newbie person, I would like to send you another resource that I use as a plugin, completely free. And if you're using it for game design, you might want the more expensive version, or like the one, it's not even that expensive. I think it's like 15 bucks. But, and I've actually talked with this creator. They're super nice. They are active in their chat. So if you ever have questions, I mean, in their comment section. So if you ever have questions, feel free to ask them. I don't think they have a Discord, but they're active on YouTube, so. It's called NEB plugin, which it stands for Not Enough Blend Shapes. And it's how I leveled up my face tracking to ArtKit so fast, is I use that. So, the newest version of NEB is right here. And I just click this NEB plugin. And it's going to load the plugin. And then you see that has a source model, target model. This means I can take pre-existing blend shapes and copy it from the old model. To get started, I wouldn't worry about using a custom source model. Use the reference model. As long as you have a human-like face, it will work. If you are making like something more fur-tastic, you might need to customize your blend shapes. And for that, you'll probably want to use the older version of NEB, which allows you to have a little bit more control over everything. And once again, I'm saying all this information like I'm not live almost every other day, but like, I like to just give all the information, and then like as you go through it, it's in your brain somewhere. I used to do that all the time for tests. For people who have like test nervousness, I'd be like, okay, when you go sit down for your test, know that the information has been said before. It's somewhere in your brain. You're not recalling it right now, but when you go back and answer the questions you didn't answer before, try to think of conversations you had that day. Try to think of what you were doing other than what you actually are trying to remember. Because memory is associative. So if you can remember other things you were doing the day that you learned the information, you'll slowly be able to recall the information you can't remember. So that's why I find it super important to like communicate like that. Also, the more people you teach, the better you understand the material. So regurgitating it to you is also useful for me because it helps solidify that information in my brain. The more times it comes up in conversation, the more likely you are to remember it in the future. Because your brain has more to attach to it. I believe this is where the cheekbone line goes. Yeah, I was right here. Pink. Yeah. Yeah, you good. I will say, that is not how I teach people typically. That is how I tell people how I do things. If you ever need like more in-depth help, feel free to pop in stream, ask about it. And especially if I'm working on models, I'll go through the process. Let's see. But yeah, I fully don't mind taking my time. The only reason why I don't do just chatting streams is because I'm small enough to where it's awkward. Because if I'm not actively doing something, the people who might come into the stream are just like, would just see me sitting there waiting for someone. Or talking to myself. And we don't want our first impression to be that uncomfortable, awkward vibe. Luckily, this part of 3D face stuff is great for me because I am someone who blends too much. Okay. So this is popping up. So this is going to be doing the reverse. So we want to put this here. I need my reference guide. I'm gonna save this image so that way I can just pull it up. But this is one of the references I'm using for like how I'm shading my face. Yeah, basically it's you inverse where the colors are. And I'm gonna take. Oh, whoops, that's why. And I think for this part of the face, I don't want to just use like a flat color. Like one of the lighter. I'm also a very much fuck around and find out kind of person. I like to just basically experiment. Like, I didn't really watch that many guides before starting to paint this. I was just like, let's just see what works for me. It's also how I've been able to develop my own art style, is I don't watch too many tutorials. Believe it or not, I figured that out, not independently, but from someone named Pirate Softwares. They were talking about not watching too many tutorials for like game design, to only look at what you need. And I actually think that's super useful for even not if you're doing game design, but like, say, if you really want a unique art style, then what you need to do is go through the process of learning how to do art, but more from scratch. Like, experiment. And as someone who is trained as a scientist, there's nothing more that I like than a good experiment. Okay, so pink, blue, much smaller. Much smaller. Okay, I want this to still be a bump. I want it to stand out more. So we're going to reverse. So we're not going to flip and then flip. What we're going to do is do... So if I wanted to make it go concave, I would flip the colors and reverse it. However, if I just want a different like gradient, I can just flip and not like put it upside down as well. At least that's what, from my understanding of what the information I just learned means. And luckily, my stuff already has some decent shading on it, so I don't need to worry too heavily. Wait, no, this should be on this side, and yellow should be on the other side.
Visit bestwestern.com for complete terms and conditions.
I'm not a very good 2D artist, but I love doing 3D art. Because I'm like, with my dyslexia and everything, I don't think very well in terms of like flat, but I think amazingly in a three-dimensional space. That's like the strength that I have. Honestly, we were told that what we were doing naturally was the wrong way, so I would say part of it is societal. That because our very core of being is considered the wrong way, that it becomes a little bit part of our different parts of our personality. I love when they're like, don't make gay your personality, and I'm like, how, when you guys have made it so important? Like, I wouldn't make it my personality if you didn't make everything about it. If gay marriage was just hey, yeah, no, they got gay married, then it would have become a personality. If you don't want something to be major, don't treat it like it's major. It's weird because a lot of them are parents, and so they've raised, like, possibly have raised teenagers. Do you think they would have learned that lesson already? And by the way, this side does just need more detail than this side, and that's why it looks more like this. This side's all in shadow because of the bang. I'm not too worried about putting too much detail there. Apple of the cheek. Okay, now let's see how this looks. Because this is close to what I think would be finished. And then Control C, Control V, V, V. Because I blend so much, I just copy the underneath thing. I go to, okay, so I used to do therapy constantly because when I was a university student, it was free. But now I go to psych appointments very regularly. But that's because I have like ADHD and like you have to get your medication, at least in my state. Okay, so then we're gonna go back here. And then we're gonna go to this, click on the face. We're getting there. What is this? It's causing it to look like that. I might want to have a little bit more of a gradient here, because that does look a bit awkward. Everything's kind of cocked a little bit. But what I'm going to do, because I'm using a gouache, and if you use paint in a digital program, it mixes with itself. So I need to, if I want to make some major corrections, I have to create a new layer. I will take these layers, though, and combine them.
I've had this ad blocker for 1 week, and it's already blocked over 1,000 ads. Meet Pi, a Chrome extension that blocks ads, and it's...
By the way, for anyone who's new here, if you hit that follow button, you'll join the cats at the bottom of the screen. And if you on YouTube, if you hit that subscribe button, the same thing will happen. If you don't see your cat and you're on YouTube, just send hi or meow or whatever you would like to, and you should see the cat after that, as long as you're subscribed. No cat without subscription. And if you're on Twitch, no cat without follow. And the Pikmins are like a paid subscriber benefit. Uh, it sounds a lot like douche. I mean, I might even be sick. I was even using the right one. I like this one. This is the brush I like using. I've been using the wrong brush, but it's fine because it's been working out. Actually, I think I'm gonna have to switch to like G Pen. Okay. I do think I need to lighten this up a bit. Also, can I just say I'm very appreciative for the community that we've built already, because I gotta say I like everybody in my community so far. So I appreciate the participation in the chat. Also, as a side note, if you do have ADHD, it is very useful sometimes to co-work with somebody, even if it's not like in a stream capacity. And that's just something to note. Okay. Oops. I also realized what's wrong right there is that this needs to come off to the side. Instead of like where it was coming from. Okay, blend. I also did that on the wrong layer, but it's fine because it's using a G pen.
We'll beat what you paid your tax pro last year when you switch to a TurboTax full service expert. Start now.
I wanted to blend this out anyways. I'm gonna just grab a little bit of pink. File, save. we're gonna go over to Unity. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Gauche is what you're thinking of. I think. Like, don't be so gauche. Like old English insult. Because now that after giving it a third thought, like, actually I have heard that before. Can you tell what layer I forgot to take off? So I need to fix here and still fix this nose area. Okay. Underneath a little bit. This darker color to do the same.
Sometimes it can feel like there's no way out of treatment-resistant depression. You take one antidepressant after another, and they aren't working for you. It's like you're going in circles. Turn to a different choice. Spravato.
Looks like that area might also need some help.
Without an oral antidepressant for adults with treatment-resistant depression. Spravato can cause serious.
Of course, we're going to be using this shading and not that shading, but just the realistic shading, light is useful. And I guess I could do this. Okay, now. False.
Risk for abuse and misuse. Don't take if you have a blood vessel disease, an abnormal connection between your veins and arteries, a history of bleeding in the brain, or may become pregnant. Spravato may harm your unborn baby. Don't drive, operate machinery, or perform activities.
We hear the Spravato commercial a lot for someone who has no relationship to babies. Oh wait, no, Spravato is for antidepressant. Never mind. We do use antidepressants, but we would never get our antidepressant advice from like a commercial like that. Want to clean that out. And I want to take, so this is that light blue. I'm gonna take purple. I'll take this one. Because we want this to be a rounded object. But this is fun. But yeah, no, one of the other synonyms for gauche is uncouth, I believe. Because I've heard the phrase "don't be so gauche" and then "don't be so uncouth" used as a phrasing for telling someone that they are being like boldly rude and like crass. Are you gonna stay the night? Oh, by the way, good news. We have a full cover song coming out tomorrow. Yay! A clip of it was posted earlier. Hit lock in. Then we're gonna hit unlock. For some reason we're still getting some thoughts here and there. I'm not sure if I love how this is. So another method that I saw, like I like this side. Oh, you know what I could do? So it might not work fully correctly, but it might work just well enough. This is gonna be a very clever trick that I just came up with. So we're gonna take this, Control C, Control V. And then we're gonna flip. And then you might be like, but wait, the colors are on the wrong side. And you would be right. But what we can do, hide this layer, new correction layer, reverse the gradient. Did that work properly? That reversed, that would make it bump up. I want to reverse those two colors. I should be able to click on this or something. Delete. There we go. Actually, let's do new correction layer. Gradient map. Okay. We need to have probably this be the purple. Probably needs to be a little bit darker than that. It looks like this might work. And then we want to go to blue next. We're gonna move this until we see it on the other side. Good. And then we want to take this color and we're gonna do like the green. And then I'm gonna take another one and we're gonna make this one yellow. And then we need a final one. That is going to be the purple blue that's like a cancel out thing. Actually, I think it's like this color. That's pretty close. Okay. And we're going to Control-C, Control-V. This is our save layer, just in case this doesn't work out. And then I'm going to take this. And that should have flipped values. So when I erase this part of the face, it should reveal blue underneath. That. I could do another layer. Set this down here. It is super transparent. Because I want it to keep the gradients there. Do something like that so it keeps its gradients. And then this layer, we're going to erase the left side of the face. And we're going to use a soft eraser. Okay. Then I'm going to take this. Looks like this part might need some blending. And then I want to grab this. Okay. File. Save. Okay. Yeah, I still don't like that too much. It's also not applying it correctly. This part I'm not sure why it's doing that streak. I might actually like the thing that I did beforehand more, which is to take my regular face and just color shift it to these. And I do think I'm gonna flip this after seeing what I saw. And let's hit file save. This should have the new face texture on it. Okay, it does. I think the gradients are too harsh in favor of the darker colors, and they should be a lot paler. Especially on this side. And that means this blue. Gonna make a new layer. Spray paint soft. We might should have just done the easy method of this. What I'm doing right now is basically just trying to lighten up a lot of the face so the gradients are less harsh. Because right now there's not any light going to those areas, and that's not accurate. File, save. Thinking about me every night. Oh, that's better. Yeah, so I just need to lighten up the face by a lot. Okay, there's multiple ways to do this. I decided to try to do this the very hardest way. So I'm doing it in the bump method, but if I go and do normal map guide, face, images, this is how it's supposed to be. And I should have just done this. I wanted to be extra and try to use it to have a little bit even more control over everything, which did not play out in my favor, but hey. I'm gonna add new correction layer. We want, where is it? Posterization, reverse gradient, level correction, color balance. Oh wait, not color balance. New correction layer, brightness. That should be better. Same. Gonna turn the contrast down by a good amount. Needs to be even lighter, it looks like. Or we try the super, super easiest method, which wouldn't be bad. Easy doesn't mean bad. Sometimes, honestly, easy means better. So we're gonna do new layer, which the easy method would be, for one, going back to this palette. We want pale pink. And we're gonna do gouache. We do like doing things the hard way, long and hard preferably, but we're gonna just try to go against our better judgment. Because our better judgment was not doing us favors.
Won't you wine and dine with me? Settle down. I wanna raise a child. I wanna raise a child. Won't you raise a child with me? Raise a child. We'll call her Nebraska. Nebraska Jones. She'll have your nose. Just so you know. I wanna settle down. I wanna settle down. Won't you settle down with me? Settle down.
Okay, so this needs to be
I saw her with you Monday morning, small talking on the avenue. She's got a fancy car. She wants to take you far from the city lights and sounds deep to the dark. Sky so light, sky so bright, first star I see tonight. Sky so light, sky so bright.
Oop, undo.
Baby, there's no need to run. I'll love you well. I wanna settle down. It's time to bring you down on just one knee for now. Let's make our vows.
Let's see how this looks. see if this looks better or not better. Okay. I think the problem here that I had is I have the wrong colors set. My colors that are supposed to equal light are not equaling light. And it looks like they don't use as detailed of a gradient. It's like this pale blue on this one looks like it's the light set. That makes sense. Now I understand what's happening here. Good thing I did that. Otherwise, I would not know that this pale blue should go in the center. I need to be able to see the planes. I need to pull this up on my other monitor. Oh wait, I might have that wrong. Dyslexia moment. This also would explain a lot. I think it's flipped twice because I see the mirrored version. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay. Now I can use this. Now we're working. Their gradient works a lot differently than the gradient I was utilizing. Because theirs doesn't honestly work very radial. I also think I do have to use this gradient. Because otherwise I don't have the right colors. There we go. Should be like a yellow. Save. There we go. I think I'm figuring it out now. Because I now understand it better, what I want to do and I want these colors likely. Okay, it's the one that comes down to the face. So it's this one that's done correctly. Okay. But I also want to flip the side that's pink, because I put the pink side on this side, and this side is the side that should have the most shadow. Okay. But this is why I copy paste before I do anything, so I can have a fresh layer, so I don't have to worry about stuff like that. So I made... This is also a dyslexic's worst nightmare, is having to think about this left-right. Okay.
Bubbly Sparkling Water presents the cast of Drag Race Live as they see the bubbly side with losing is the new winning.
This song actually fits perfectly to, like, what's... Down, I'm still that bitch. Okay. Stop me, stop me, stop me, my life. Stop my life. It's kind of in last place. The eyes. And you're stopping me, you're stopping me, you're stopping me tonight. These all coming out purple? Why? Like, this doesn't seem like it's a color match, but it might just be color theory effing with me. Like, that looks like it should be yellow. Okay. So this side you get the pinks,
Hey,
but
it's Michelle Visage. Do you want gay Check out RuPaul's Drag Race YouTube channel and hit subscribe.
like the lighter pinks.
Unlock a new world of efficiency with Asana. Identify blockers to keep work, projects, and goals on track. Try for free today at asana.com.
Well, actually, I pick my blend tool and just and we're going to see how this looks. This is the other reason why I needed music for this one. Just like something more uppy. It's hard to tell like which lights are the right lights for this. The thickness map is so much easier. I'm just gonna Okay, so the outside of this face is lit up, but the inner part is not. Which is really weird to me. Brightness and contrast. New correction layer. Reverse gradient.
for each other. Shiny till it wasn't. Feels good till it doesn't. It was her first real lover. Here's to till he had another. Oh girl, but she found out. Trust levels went way down. Of course she was sad.
Ironically, that's probably the best it's looked so far.
Took a few years to soak up the tears, but look at her now. Watch it go. Look at her now. Watch it go. Look at her now.
I'm assuming it's on this layer. And file saved.
Fast nights that caught him. That new life was his problem. Not saying she was perfect. Still regrets that moment, like that night. Was it wrong, was it right? Yeah.
Let's see.
Made her more of a woman. Of course she was sad, but now she's glad she dodged a bullet. Took a few years to soak up the tears, but look at her now. Watch it go.
Okay, so the opposite side needs ink. One side needs to be a light blue, and one side needs to be probably a light pink. Okay. So I have to wonder if this is flipped twice. Or if this is like blue was light here. But we're getting closer. Same. I feel. I should probably switch to working on the hair. And give myself a face break. But that looks cool. I should have a face here. There it is. I'm gonna set it back to its natural state. Which is that. And switch this to skin. With skin shading, I don't know if you can actually see any difference. Because this changes the shadow and lit. But yeah. So we're switching gears to hair, something that is a lot easier for me. Actually, shading, additive, special, shading, matte cap. And then we want to do, we want it to be very faded. Glitter! I like all the dancing emotes. Same. You know what? Honestly, that was the main purpose here. The other stuff is, I already have an idea of what I want the end goal to look like. Replace shape color map. Use random colors. Switch this to square. Great. Angular limitation.
Your favorite movies are on YouTube. Enjoy the latest releases. Get
1000.
Paramount Plus, Stars, and more. Find your favorite movies and TV on YouTube.
This could be good for me.
No, not 15,000.
I was feeling like I need a purpose. But when you talk to me, give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface. And I could walk for days, searching for your praise. But is it even there to find? Is there a chance for me to learn your memories? Will I slowly lose my mind?
Same. You know, we're gonna be adding more emotes to higher tier subs too, because I have that unlocked and I've just not done it yet. And I need to. Next song, yeah, Tamer by Zara, which I love this song. There we go. I was like, which please? Black. Additive. And then I want special glitter. Replace random. And we want to limit the angle. Squaw. If you can't tell, I know. Switch my headphones if I want to sing along. Because that headset's behind. Comes around, but you can't tame her. Can't tame her. We want, I want like bright, but more like neon-y. Tame her magic energy. Pulls you in every time. Every time. And do what she wants. Any reason. have found. You can't tell her no. Can't tie her down. Nobody knows. The feelings walk to the door. Oh, that's pretty. We could do that because that's like a mermaid-esque. And it's coming up on summer. No, can't tie her down. Comes around. And we're gonna go with like Oop. Okay, yeah, we're good. I like this song. Not this one. It's a different song.
Isn't St. Patrick's Day next month?
It's not a day, it's a season.
There we go. Red flag. My lover on a pedestal. Don't last. Nose color glasses off. Yeah, there we go. Been doing this dance all night. To fly. I do know that I want to take. I mean, I could always just do this too. Nice worked. Imagine let it burn. Like that. Let's see. Gonna do this dance all night. You're confused and I'll be like, Jeanne. Illusion. Moving. Let's see. Oh, it's doing. I'll be like. Yeah. Fitness, RGB color. And I want to hit lock in, unlock, just to make sure everything went through. This one.
For the global premiere of your music video, Catwalk.
Where is it? This one. Because I like the body on this model. Move in. Cut out. There we go. Now hair. Which I need to grab some stuff from this. Control C. Control V. That's not hair. I guess I have to grab my hair one off of this. Out of the way. Levitate. Like a lady. Take a willow pill. Feeling ill. You yourself in a bunch of bubbly. Okay. Where you go, everybody knows. Doo-doo. Save. World is your own way. Edit.
Hey, it's Michelle Visage. Do you want gay Check out RuPaul's Drag Race YouTube channel and hit subscribe.
Save. Make sure that went through. Yes. I need multiple, like, alpha maps for this. Save image. Well, it never stops. Can't unlock. There we go. Now we can take exit. Okay. I gotta know which part of the hair is which. Okay, that's the back. Okay, that's one of the ones I wanted to do with the alpha map. Invert. And then we want it to go to, and we want delivering. Let's try this one. Go to multiply. Where'd you go to replace? Necklace, kisses to my exes. Okay, that one. What are you? Okay, you need to be a little bit thicker. Something like that, maybe. I've officially been listening to this playlist for too long because it's gotten to the weird part of every YouTube playlist. Okay, go down to this, the leather. There we go. Okay. One of these is the other one. No, this is Japanese. It's called Rabbit Hole, featuring Hatsune Miku, a Deco 27 song. Blow, 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 blow. If you want to know, Rabbit Hole. I'll switch it to the gay lyrics, which is just like a translation, like... where is it? There we go. You'll hear very quickly. What you wanted me to say? No way. KKK. We finally exit over to the right. Oh my. Really staying for the night. One more chance. You just you're happy. You want a virgin boy. If you lose, if you only. You do yours, you do yours. Okay. That all was the front. Then lovers. Cover. We smother each other up. With a lemma. Instant lovers. It's probably one of my favorite Hatsune Miku songs. With a new lucky. You're the virgin boy. Baby, get lucky. You do yours. You do yours. Once more, deeper into this rabbit hole we go. It's the same as me.
Up for an adventure?
Always.
Let's see. Oh, nice. I like Trace of On. I do like the classics, but having listened to like the more like newer stuff, it does become harder to listen to the older stuff sometimes. It's just fading too fast. Wanna go back? Oh, neighborhood. And then we want to offset. Oh. Night. Baby, one more time. Second time. Oh, I need to probably switch this too. 1999. I want to not necessarily look exactly like that. And you're right there, right there. In my old neighborhood. What this is supposed to do is kind of like create, oh, that's gonna get the YouTube side taken. Actually, you know what? Just so I can not have to worry about that, we might switch off the YouTube side of stream. Let me see if anyone is currently watching it. Let's see. Because I don't want to cut it off so it's watching. I think we're good to cut the YouTube side. Yeah, we're good to cut the YouTube side.